folding is probably the right move. Bet you weren't expecting to hear that from me.
You people.
Oh, you know her.
And you have yourself
my
as your
face is on
That lovely picture.
Shit.
How embarrassing.
Never let your girlfriend touch your phone.
Picture of
Solid.
Boston.
Solid.
Here in America, I call it soccer. $25 an hour. You're a dedicated cameraman.
Do you know how few dollars I make per video?
I say you make $3.
Fractions?
A little bit more, but
Price is Right was lost. No, Price is Right good, right? No, Price is Right was not bad.
No.
I remember the Price is Right rules.
Yeah, you're under.
Under is good.
Yeah.
Over is bad.
Yes.
yeah, but nobody else guessed, so does it even matter?
$3.01.
How dare you?
Oh, okay. Got it.
Shake hands more than once a day.
Come hither.
Enjoy Moana.
Go hither. Wait, this door? This door.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.
Is that from Barbie?
Bye-bye.
Toy Story?
See you later. Bye now. Bye.
He's definitely making it up.
Bye.
Definitely making it up. That one.
Bye. I can still see you.
Oh yeah. Well, they're so close up. I'm glad you finally made it to see the new digs. Be awesome. Yes.
All right, take care. Drive safe.
Moment. So one of us is more in shape than the last time we did this, and one of us is less in shape than the last time we did this. Can you guess who? One's a vlogger. Oh, golly. Guys, exercise is important. Just woke up, got a pack, driving home today. Mickey's gonna do something to drive so I can probably sleep in a little bit more. Let's go.
Your
Deal.
face isn't so ready.
Yeah, it's a little. All right, can you see me? Can you see my awesome shirt? BeyondTells.com. Say Matt sent you. For anyone who doesn't know yet, Beyond Tells is what I've been working on for hours and hours a day, every day since getting back home from Boston. It's going to be awesome. It's already awesome, but it's going to be even more awesome. We're releasing Beyond Tells 2.0. Don't have a release date yet, but as we get closer, I will let you guys know. I know I've been making this joke about thirsty for hand review, but I am actually thirsty right now, so just cut me some slack, okay? Due to my general lack of volume, I basically wanted to try something new on the vlog, and this was a suggestion from my good buddy Chris, who we've seen in a previous video. The idea is basically I'm going to look at a hand that I've never seen before. I'll put it somewhere on the screen here so you guys can follow along. And then on each street, I'll have a decision to make. I guess I might have multiple decisions per street sometimes. But the concept is I'm going to look at it, read the spot, and then I'll have 30 seconds to think it through, figure out what I want to do, and I'm going to be talking through it the whole time. I'll just try to keep under 30 seconds as much as possible. I know a lot of you will think this is weird. Some of you will probably just like that it's a little fast. And if push comes to shove and I can't explain what I'm trying to explain real fast, I might do something where I just say the decision without explaining it, and then at the end I might jump back if I go over the 30 seconds. I really wish my mic was pointed at me just a little bit more. Damn it. All right, let me just zoom in. There you go. You can't see it now. I'm going to be approximating the timer here, and then I'll plug it in to the video later. So I got my stopwatch here. I'll be starting it just so I know where I'm at. So I won't be able to look at the camera as much because I'll be looking at the stuff on the screen and then looking at my phone for the time that I have. I'm going to let myself actually read through before I hit start. So just, calm down, hold your horses. If I'm don't hit the timer right away and I go over by 0.5 seconds or something. Okay, we get it, Matt. Ready, set, go. Okay. First hand, we're playing 2-5, no limit at Aria. We have one limper and we have pocket fives on the button, go. Yeah, I mean, my default would definitely be to raise. There's no information about the table here, so I'm going to assume that we either just sat down or, it's sort of a typical lineup. I don't think limping is going to be super profitable. When somebody limps here, they're going to be kind of, I usually have a wider range, and typically if I want to be set mining, I'm going to do it against a strong range. So I'll raise to isolate and then plan to try to take down the pot post flop. Okay, so I didn't hit stop right away, but first decision, managed it pretty much in 30 seconds. Let's move on to the next decision. So I'm gonna reset. Can't hit that button. Okay, reset. Okay, so our limper calls. We raised to 25. Cool, so I got that right. We raised to 25. The limper now calls, and we get a flop with $50 in it. It's Jack 10-5 two-tone. He checks us. Go. Okay, so we flop a set on a pretty wet board. Looks like the limper just calls, so there's not really any reason to think he's strong. Definitely looking to put some money in the pot. It's still very wet. Lots of stuff can come on the turn that not only could potentially make us not have the best hand, but make us not be able to get value. So I'm going to go ahead and bet $40. So again, I was a little slow on hitting stop, but there we go. Should be under 30 seconds there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much more to say about that. Why don't we just jump into the next decision? Okay, so limper checks, we bet, and the limper folds. All right, well, that was an easy hand. Why don't we go on to the next one? Okay, well, apparently those first few slides were just a sample, which is indicated by the giant sample hand thing that Chris put in over and over. I guess it's good I got some practice, but now we're into the real deal here, so let's go. Okay, 2-5 no limit at Aria still. Folds us into hijack. We open ace queen to 20, and the cutoff calls were 900 effective, so pretty deep. We flop the nut flush draw on 7-5-4, so I'm going to start. Okay, so let's see. We're in the hijack. Cutoff is the caller, so we're out of position. Yeah, I mean, this is a hand I would typically c-bet unless I have a reason not to. I've got a ton of equity against everything that's ahead of me, and it's a pretty good hand to have as a double barrel. I could check call, but I think I'm typically just going to go ahead and bet. And I'm going to bet kind of big so I can bet even bigger on the turn. So I'm going to go ahead and bet probably 35. And again, I'm super slow on the uptake here. I should have my hand hovering over the reset button. I I keep finishing talking by 30, but then I don't stop it by 30. But okay, here we go. Let's get on to the next decision point here. So we bet 30, the cutoff calls, the turn's a jack, offsuit, puts a backdoor flush draw on. I've already started the clock here, about 4 seconds in. So yeah, I mean, he calls. What does his range look like? It's a lot of one pair and draws. I think on such a draw heavy board, people are usually going to raise us when we're the pre-flop raiser if they have something pretty strong. So sets, two pair, things that are like strong but vulnerable will usually raise. So I really like double barreling and probably planning to triple here. I'd probably just go ahead and bet like 75. And again, I was like narrowly made it this time. The sizing is hard. Like getting the sizing in just 30 seconds can be tough, especially when I'm trying to verbalize at the same time. But this is good. I like this. Water break. Next decision point. We decided to check, apparently, and the cutoff bet $70. We are very deep. So the interesting thing about checking is that now he might bet some of those weaker one pair hands and drawing hands for protection, I guess, and just like to get us to fold our like 2 over kind of stuff. So kind of for the reason I liked betting, I guess I don't mind check raising. Like it's gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and check raise to like 220 here. Not much else to say, so let's get on to the next decision. We raised to 210. Looks like I just missed the sizing there. Cutoff tanks for a while and calls. All right, so I'm going to start the clock here. The river, there's 520 in the pot. I think we've got about 7, what do we have, like 680 behind, 650 behind, something like that. I kind of want to jam. He shouldn't really have a jack pretty much ever. He can have some jack X of hearts combos, but I think when he tank calls like that, I think he's almost always got one pair, draws, and like a pair and a draw kind of hand. So I am jamming. I would jam. We check, the cutoff thinks and checks, and we show and win against an unknown hand. Yeah, I mean, I think checking is okay too. The fact that we win is interesting because I guess like we're getting him to fold mostly hands that we beat, but I think if he has like one pair, well, I guess technically 2 pair because there's a pair on the board. If he has 1 pair, then he still beats us, but we might get him to fold. But cool, that was an interesting hand. Thanks again, Chris, for this. This is actually kind of fun for me because I don't have to like get launched into this like quick thinking mode very often, and I'm trying to spit it out all while like not making myself look like an idiot to you guys. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, we've got a 2-5 no limit hand. Now we're at Caesar's Palace. We've got an under the gun straddle for 10. We're first to act with pocket deuces and start. I mean, so I'm almost certainly guilty of raising this almost all the time to like probably 35, 40. But if stacks are deep, I think that's a little bit more defensible because we can potentially defend to a 3-bet. I might limp if I am like currently limping different kinds of hands from early, but I think technically if I have no info, folding is probably the right move. Bet you weren't expecting to hear that from me. All right, next decision point. We decide to open limp. Whew, okay, I don't have to feel that guilty. 3 other players limp and straddler checks his options, so it looks like we're going 5 ways to the flop. Yeah, okay, so we flop another set. Man, we run good in these hand histories. Okay, so the clock has just started. Looks like it's a 2-tone board. I'm assuming it checks to us because it looks like we're first to act, even though we're not first to act. I'm going to go ahead and bet kind of the same reasoning as the previous set hand, that sample hand. I want to make value. There's so many people in this pot, and several of them could have Jack X in their range, flush draws, all kinds of wonky stuff. So I'm going to bet like 40. Just barely in time. All right, next decision. We bet 35. The button over limper snap raises to 110, and we've got to think about it. Doesn't say how deep we are, so I'm going to assume like at least 500. It folds around to us. He's an over limper. So he can definitely have pocket fives here. But his range should consist of other things. Assuming we don't know anything about him, I'm guessing it will include some combo draws, maybe just some bare nut flush draws. And this really depends on stack depth, but I'm usually going to 3-bet in this spot to charge him to chase. All right, it might have been a little bit over on that one. I just having trouble spitting it out. I repeated myself a couple times. Yeah, I didn't say the size, so I guess that's one X for me there. So that's one tick. What, I get like 3 strikes or something? Anyway, I'd probably raise to like, I don't know, 260 or something like that here. That might be a little big, but it's so stack size dependent. Like I could potentially be getting in the money. Like if he's got 300 to start the hand, I'll just ship it. If we're very deep, if he's got like 1,000 or something, like I'll probably try to set up a turn shove and make it like 280, something like that. 290. Anyway, you could go bigger if you had reads. Next decision. We just call. So, okay, that's fine. That's not a decision though. So, all right, now the turn is $270. Ace of spades hits, and we've got a decision to make. Now, I mean, if I'm calling on the flop, it's going to be to let him barrel off or so that I can check jam the turn. So, I mean, like I'm definitely never check folding, and I don't think leading is better because that just, I mean, it lets me set the price, but he might just fold something now. The only thing about betting is that if he has ace-x of hearts, like we set our price and he's never folding. But I think I'm checking here. I didn't stop the clock, but I was definitely under 30 seconds. All right, so we ended up checking and he checked behind, which actually, I mean, I should go on to the next decision point. I'm actually thinking, starting the clock, that he might actually have an ace now. The river's not that great of a card either. But he can have plenty of ace-x of hearts that he's checking back for pot control because he has an ace now. I think he'd probably barrel with a lot of his flush draws, and only 4x of hearts really gets there. And his only combos of 4x of hearts should be ace 4 of hearts, maybe 6 4 of hearts. So I'm definitely betting for value. Since I think he's capped at 1 pair, I'm probably going to go a little small and go like 140. Might have been a little over on the sizing there. We bet 325. Holy shit. Well, I wouldn't have bet that big because I think I wouldn't expect him to call with 1 pair, and I also wouldn't expect him to bink 2 pair here very often. Yeah. But, okay, cool, we win. We won some Sklansky bucks there. Let's go on to the next hand. 2-5 no limit at MGM National Harbor. There's 1 limper. We're in middle position with ace-jack offsuit. Decisions on us. Let's start. Typical here, if my open raise sizing is usually 20, I'll probably bump it to 25 with a limper. Like if I know something about the table, I might already be doing 25, so I might make it 30. Or if I have a read, I might make it 30 just because this player, I think, will call with a weaker hand. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and by default raise to 25. Well under time there. Relax. Relax, guys. All right, so we raised to 25. All right, I did it right. Button calls, so he wasn't the limper. Small blind calls, and the limper calls. So we're going 4 ways to the pot. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. The pot size is wrong, Chris. Am I allowed to change it? I haven't looked at the... There's 4 of us, right? Button, small blind, limper, and us. $100. The rake's not that big. $199. That's like a splash pot. Okay, so 10, 10, 4, rainbow. There's 4 of us in this pot, and it is a paired board. I feel like there's conflicting things going on here when I'm thinking about c-bet factors. So it's a paired board, which is good for c-betting usually because it's harder for people to hit and connect. And you could sometimes barrel people off of like pairs in their hand. However, there's 4 people, which means it's a little hard to get people to fold. It also looks stronger when there's more people. However, I just think that it's a little too likely people are playing something with a 10 in it, and I'm going to check. I don't know if I was under 30 there, but it was definitely close. If I was over, it was like 0.2 seconds. Okay, so now what do we got here? Okay, so I said check, right? Let's see what happens. We check, and the button checks behind. Damn it, this is... Chris, you're making me work a little too hard here. 100. Okay. Now, the turn is a queen, and it checks to us again. I'm probably now going to bet here. I mean, there is a flush draw on board, and someone could have checked on this rainbow flop with a 10. Actually, you know what? I think I'm changing my mind. I think there's still too many people who could have hit a queen here, could have a 10, or will have like king, jack, jack 9 and not fold, or flush draw and not fold, and I don't feel super like I'm going to make the right decision on barreling the river, so I think I'm just going to check again, basically giving up and try to hit a gutter or an ace. All right, I was definitely over by like 1 or 2 seconds there, so I guess that's 2 strikes. All right, so I said I would check. We bet 40. I'm guessing that would be more like, I guess like 50. Well, let's just say it's 55 instead, because that's closer to accurate. The small blind calls. So the frustrating thing about this, and I'm starting the clock, is that for the same reason I didn't want to bet the turn is why it's like, this is exactly why I didn't want to bet the turn, is because I get to this river and I'm not really sure what's going on. Also, this should be 210 actually, right? 110 plus 100, yeah. So it's a little bit awkward, but we do actually hit an ace, which I didn't even notice at first. I said ace, but then forgot what my hand was. So I'm going to bet small to try and get value from a queen, and probably fold to a raise. All right, I'm definitely over time. So, damn it, 3 strikes already. I zoned, I got myself like freaked out a little bit, and then I couldn't do it. So I'm going to go ahead and bet. I'm going to bet, I'll say 120. 120. Small blind checks, we bet 65, which is like, what is that, 40% of the pot-ish. So if we said this is 100, 100, and 210, and we bet, let's scale it up to like 80, which is like, yeah, I was actually going back and forth between like 80, 90, and like 120. Small blind calls and we win. So I think I did something right here. All right, that's hand 3. Let's see if we've got any more hands here. I don't remember how many there were. That's it. 3 hands, which is good because this took longer than I expected. But cool. This was a lot of fun for me. Let me know if you guys thought this was interesting. If you like this format, please hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment down below so that I know to do more of it. Consider sharing this with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's a big red button down below. You know how to find it. You guys are all smart. That's it, guys. Beyond Tells is coming soon. Get excited. Get pumped up. I am so excited with the work I'm doing with School of Cards. You have no idea. Again, if you guys want to check out School of Cards, go to www.schoolofcards.com. A lot of great stuff there. A lot of great stuff in the works. If you end up needing to reach out for any reason, either because you're interested in a course or just because you need some help with something on support, make sure you say that Matt sent you. That's me. I may be able to help you out personally if you're having some kind of support issue. Or if you end up buying a product, I will actually get a kickback from that. That goes 100% to the vlog, me making better content, and toward you becoming a better poker player. So that's about it. I already said subscribe. I already said the thing and the other thing. Tell me if you like this. Comment down below. What am I doing here? That's for you guys. That's for the vlog. You know what? I'm just gonna walk away slowly because, I think I might have stepped over a boundary here, and you guys, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. So just nobody report this video, okay? Just don't report the video. Nobody report this video, okay? Just don't report the video. Bye.